how you get the name Auntie.
That's how you got the name.
That's true.
When they proposed the name Ritch Auntie, I'm gonna tell you, I was like, I ain't nobody fucking auntie. I got my nieces and nephews, but I don't want to be nobody auntie. But at the end of the day, if you think about the younger women that surround you, that you've mentored,
I believe that. Through God, I really believe that.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Ritch Auntie Podcast. Make sure that you're following, and sharing. Today, we are back with another episode. And Trina, I want to talk about, because yesterday, Trina and I got to experience the Black Effect podcast by Charlemagne the God.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. I was surprised. There was a lot of people out there. It was at Pullman Yards here in Atlanta. A lot of people from different cities and states, and it was sold out. Yeah. But it was nice. What you think? The food was good.
Oh yeah, the food was
good. Trina and I got to eat some tacos. Mm-hmm. What was the name of that little place, Trina? Do you remember?
I just looked at it too, Delcy. It was something to start with an S. Hold on, guys. It's called Sisteritas. Yes, they had great tacos, y'all. They're here in Atlanta too. Yeah,
check them out.
In Fayetteville.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, they had some great tacos. So we got to go out there and listen to some of the podcasts. And one of the ones that we listened to was from the Housewives of the Potomac. Which is Robin.
But I didn't know Michelle Williams. She's not on the show.
I don't think she's on the show, but I think they had her as a part of the podcast.
Okay.
I think she's not on that. I think maybe she was a guest.
Yeah, maybe she was one of the people that were speaking. They just put them all together, I guess, because I know they had her highlighted as one of the speakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so yeah, that was
just
good.
Put them together.
Yeah, so we got to see that podcast, and it was pretty. It was a good experience. I think that it let us. You know, we always say, we are flying this plane as we are building it.
Yeah.
And just to go there and kind of see, their podcast and how it's set up and what they talk about, which is a lot similar to, the things that we talk about too, Trina. So what you think about that? Tell me.
What I thought was interesting was how many people were in attendance, and the fact that it was sold out. There's a lot of people out here interested in podcasting. I thought that was really interesting because there were a lot of people there, and they were different ages. It
right.
wasn't
that's true. It was a broad range of people and age groups. One thing that I did like, that if you were trying to establish a podcast, they had that section over there where they kind of let you come and kind of
spotlight.
What she said, you get to pitch your podcast and see what people think. Mm-hmm. So it kind of puts you on the spot. But if we're interested in creating your own podcast, because I had a lot of people ask me do you have a producer who's editing your clips and all that stuff? We do have a producer that edits our clips, and that helps us with everything that we do. We couldn't fly this plane without our producer. Could not. I always feel like I don't have enough time in the damn day.
I know.
To get things done. But it was interesting,
something.
like you said, a lot of people, different age groups.
Yes.
People were there by themselves.
Just we met a young lady standing in the line, and she said that she was actually there. She wasn't there just because of the podcasting. She was there because of Charlemagne. She said that she kind of get with him. She kind of get it. She was like, I kind of agree with what he talks about. It's like he gets it. So she was there just to support.
Yeah, she said just to support him. She liked him. So I thought that was cool. It was a good experience.
It was, Delcy. Thank you. And that was cool too. That building that they had, it was cool where they had it at.
It was like a big warehouse downtown, Pullman Yards. I've never been there. That was my first time.
You would have enjoyed something, because the case I'm used to that kind of stuff when they used to perform. Y'all performed that type. Definitely. So it was something like that.
Yeah, it was cool. A great experience. I'm glad we went out there just to see what people were doing. So anyway, Trina, so we're at our segment with Auntie House. So let's talk about at Auntie's house. What we talking about today?
Oh my God, Auntie's house. Well, let's talk about the two trans that were found dead a week apart here in Atlanta.
What?
There's so much to talk about going on in Atlanta. I mean, they found.
Was it trans females, males, or is it male females that transgender? Because they could either be females that dress like men, or is it men that dress like women that were found dead?
Now, that's a really good point, because
two trans. I think it was two men that dressed as women.
You know what? But before I even answer that, Delcy, I'm really concerned and interested in that myself, because what if?
Because I feel like they target more men.
Trans, because these were women.
Because
they were men
that dress like women. Because you do have women that dress like men. There's women that dress like men.
Yeah, that's true. They call them trans. I thought they were called like what's the name?
I don't know. Don't get me into saying no
I
names
don't know
out here.
I didn't know.
I don't want to be told.
Right.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking
but yeah,
about.
They're called trans. These
okay. So is it the men that
trans.
is it the men that dress like women are the only ones that are
beautiful
called transgender?
Women. That's what I would like to know. And we're going to find those questions out because we're going to ask the young lady that we met
come back with that
and bring them back in and for have a talk with them about that, because those are questions, you're right, that we don't want to just put out there. But in this case, there were 2 women. These look like women that were found dead 1 week apart here in Atlanta, and they're not, they don't know if they're tying them together, if it's a person out there that's killing transvestites, or if it's just, it just so happened that these 2 people, were killed. But Atlanta, it's just like getting really crazy. Like the prom, they had the prom last night. Robert's daughter had her prom last night. She looked beautiful too. But her mom was saying she was gonna go take them downtown and just like kind of hang out downtown, because it's so much going on now with children. With our children, there's so much going on now with in our society. Period. Case in point, you were telling me about the young man that was killed. Went to the wrong car.
Went to the wrong car at the gas station. That was here in Atlanta too.
See, I mean, it's just
mistake, but we have to be. And the 2 cheerleaders, and I want to say it was in Texas. The Spanish guy, they got in the wrong car. I think they were coming out of Walmart or some department store. Went into the wrong car, and he shot her and killed her. Like, what's making people? I mean, we all carry guns in our cars, because we're afraid. But like, somebody accidentally gets in your car, you look around and you're like, damn. But what are we doing up to that point where we're getting in the wrong vehicles or walking up to the wrong cars? We're probably on our cell phones, and people need to be self-conscious of that. Yes. Like, okay, maybe they came to the wrong. I've walked up to the wrong Infiniti before.
I've done it too.
The only reason I know my car is because I got a personalized tag on my car. But at the end of the day, I've walked up to the wrong car and been trying to open the door. Now, what if somebody was sitting in there and I went to open the door? Would they have shot me?
I know. I pulled up in someone's yard the other day, and I was like almost terrified. But it was like I had to, because I was going down a road that was a 2-way road, and I didn't want to go all the way down before I could turn around. And so I was like, oh my God, I need to just turn around because I had missed my turn. But I was thinking in my mind, oh, what if somebody
come pull out and shoot you because people are like people. What are we as a society? Like, what are you thinking? When somebody, because you can clearly see the young. I could not imagine as a mother getting that phone call that my child was killed because they went to the wrong vehicle.
Car. Oh my God, isn't that awful?
And then the guy was released on, I think, $150,000 bond. It's, I think they said it's voluntary manslaughter. Sorry, y'all, tongue twister there.
So they're charging him with voluntary
manslaughter. Yep, but. You can clearly see, the cars kind of look the same. He walks by his car. His girlfriend is in the car. But you shot him 4 times. You didn't shot him to disable him 1 time. You could have shot him in the leg. This man, 4 bullets in this young man, 26 years old.
I know, that's awful.
Like, are we that afraid as a society? I mean, we should be. We should be. What do you think about that?
Because at the end of the day, you said the magic words. When you said, we are that afraid in society. We are. Because you know what? I think about all the videos that we've seen when people are getting jacked at the gas station. Yeah. When somebody just wanted the kid. And that's probably how he was thinking. In that moment, he was probably sitting in his car. And how many videos have we seen where kids are at the gas pump?
So what do we blame then?
Society.
Social media?
I don't know.
Do we blame social media?
Definitely. That's a very good question. Do we blame social media because of what? How do we blame? Why would you say blame social media though?
Because people are watching these videos on social media. Is that making people afraid? It's making them hyper vigilant because they're seeing people getting shot. Well, like at the end of the day, is that what we're seeing? Yeah, are we seeing people getting shot? And we're becoming more and more afraid?
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that statement. It is social media because you're right. Because now we have more access to the things that are going on in the world, which causes us to see more and think more and become more prepared for what is to come, because some people never leave their home, they never leave their environment, but they have access to social media that's going on outside of their home, their environment, in the world,
right?
So it makes us feel, oh my God, I can't do this because of that, I can't do this, well, if I go over there I better do this because this was something, you know what I'm saying,
right?
And so that man was probably sitting in his car, and whether he's looked at social media or not, but he knows that in this 2023 world, this society, he knows that the children now are young,
carrying guns.
Yeah, they're carrying guns, and they're jacking
I'm gonna tell
people.
you, in this generation, even here in Atlanta, as a single woman, like all the single women that I'm around, they carry handguns. Mm-hmm. They ain't playing.
Yeah,
you should. Too, you better know how to shoot. Yeah. You better carry. And I understand the concern, but is social media making people more and more afraid by watching these videos? Like it's creating a lot of, we didn't have social media like that back in the day, so we don't know, we weren't seeing all this stuff. People are suffering from mental illness. You don't know if this man suffered from mental illness. What are we doing? Like, we're giving everybody guns? Like, we should be really checking people mental history.
That's so true.
Before giving somebody a gun.
I totally agree with that, Delcy. I totally agree with that when you say we should check their history. I mean, why don't we?
We're checking felons. A felon can't have a handgun.
Why don't we? Why don't we pay attention to mental illness and say, hey, does this person have got anything documented that states that this person may be a little bit mental unstable?
Yeah.
Because if so, we're going to need something to say that this person is stable enough to carry a gun. Otherwise, they can't get it. But you know what happens though? That's such a broad field, because so many people are dealing with mental illness and haven't even said anything to their doctors about it. It's not documented. So you may be dealing with
internally,
something.
Especially black and brown people. Mm-hmm. Black and brown people, listen, go out there and get help. If you're feeling depression, anxiety, you're just not feeling like yourself, and you're trying to, cope. Maybe you might be working out, trying to eat right. You might be taking a walk in the evening. Mm-hmm. Those kinds of things, those are coping skills, right? Yes. The way we cope with mental illness. Mm-hmm. If you're feeling a certain type of way, go get help. Please, please, because we are impacting our communities. We kill each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We quick to kill each other because you don't know what people are going through mentally unstable.
Oh my God. And it's so much. I mean, I know we in Auntie's house, but we're going to talk about, since we're talking about mental health, I guess we can kind of move into the mental health arena. We're trying to, as we fly this plane, build it as we fly. We're trying to just kind of talk about a little bit of this, a little bit about that, and mental health, that's on the rise now. So just kind of talking about that, Delcy, it's funny, the statement that you made about getting help. People now, because of the pandemic, it's like mental health is so much on the rise that people are really out here struggling so bad that when they go to try to get the help, the people that are in positions to help them aren't taking their positions as serious as they should.
Trina, you make such a valid point when you say that. I mean, I just lost somebody that I love dearly, and I don't want to cry on the podcast, but, he was speaking to two therapists. Like, how does somebody commit suicide when you're talking to two people? Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't get that. Mm-hmm. Like you said, what are we doing as mental health providers? How are we helping them when somebody is suicidal? I don't know. Like in Baltimore, when somebody's suicidal or homicidal, that means that you're either going to threaten to kill yourself or someone else. Mm. You're Baker acted.
Yeah.
Is that
no in Baltimore?
Yeah,
that's like
they'll Baker Act you. Yeah, really? They will put you in the hospital.
But that's if you're a threat to yourself or society. It's pretty much like that. They call it 1013, I think,
here in Georgia. So I don't understand it though. It's so many families struggle with trying to get their loved ones help. And you have to go through all this red tape. Like, what?
I know.
Why? Could this person not have committed suicide? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so painful and so, you don't, even family members, sometimes we see them going through a crisis and we don't really understand the crisis, so we just chuck it up as, boy, get yourself together. Mm-hmm. Girl, get yourself together. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's not that serious. You can get through it, but you don't know in a mental headspace what that person is going through.
Yes. Yes.
Just because you bounce back from stuff doesn't mean that person can bounce back from stuff. And mental illness out here is serious, y'all, especially in our Black and brown communities, because internally we suffer, but externally we hurt people. You understand what I'm saying? In our own communities, we are out here hurting each other. We got to stop doing that.
Yes.
We got to.
Yes. I think that too, and it's so much, like even they were saying, I think it was on Fox 5, they were talking about at Spelman College that a lot of the students, some of the students over there that social media, that they were kind of cutting back. Like they said in 3 weeks, I guess they did like a survey, and in 3 weeks from their survey, the kids that looked at social media only half the time versus as much as they used to, they cut it in half, that they felt more positive about themselves. They weren't so concerned about mentally people liking them or not liking them. It kind of like made them, I guess, get away from looking at what was out there in society to make them feel like they had to, line up with that or be better than that, compete with that.
Right.
So I guess it does have, social media definitely does have an impact. It does on what we see out there, and especially for our young people, because they're our future, and I thought it was very interesting too what Amazon did. We got to talk about that at Amazon. When we talk about our Girls Talk, what Amazon did this thing, but social media is definitely playing a role in our mental, and the people that are in positions to help us to get to the next level, it make it so hard. They make it so hard because they say you got to take them to the doctor, and once you take them to the doctor has to diagnose them with this mental disability. And but what you have as a person, like just myself, if I go to the doctor and I talk with good sense and I sit there and talk to them for an hour or two,
the doctor think you're okay.
The doctor thinks I'm okay.
Do you know that some people, they're not dumb because they got mental illness?
Yes.
That's what we have to distinguish.
Yes.
A person is not dumb because they have mental illness. Sometimes they know the right things to say, right things to do, so that they can have the doctor basically feel like they're okay. And so I know you experienced that.
That's why I'm
you
talking about it.
experienced that
exactly
a lot with with your child. And I know, and me and you talked about it. And I was like, damn, Trina, that's messed up because there's so much red tape.
Yes.
He's an adult. It's different when they're an adult
it's very different.
To when they're a minor.
Yes.
So as a parent with a minor, you can advocate and they'll take your word for everything and not really the child because it's a child. But once they become an adult, they have rights too.
Yes.
And it makes it difficult for the parent to get them the help that they desperately,
even with guardianship, you know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, I've even looked into guardianship with my son, but I've learned that even with guardianship, it's not as easy as you think. Because with guardianship, what I found out from talking with an attorney is you're thinking that, I could just go get me an attorney and I could just go apply for guardianship. No, you have to go before the judge. The judge is going to have my son come in and basically talk to him. And my son talks very confidently and he's very intelligent. He's very smart. He's going to talk to that judge and say, I'm fine. I do what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I got a job. He'll say he has a job. I go to this class. And he'll talk very intelligently. And the judge will look at me and say, well, he seems to be able to take care of himself. He said he can take care of himself. They're going to take his word for that.
But they don't know the daily struggle that you go through.
Exactly. There you go. And then, that's not all. And then they're going to say, now we want him to see our doctor. Now you already got his records to show it. It's already written. I have records to show it, but they want him to see there's more money. It's so much involved with
you just said the main
everything they make it difficult. They make it very difficult.
Because you got to go through the process. And in those processes, you can't really skip any of the process. You got to go through the doctor. Then going the diagnosis. Then you got to go through seeing another doctor for the medication. The therapist. So you got to go through all those steps and channels and avenues.
Get benefits. You want to try to get the benefits that they need because
and
now
I know at some
expensive.
Point that you went through it too. He can't work.
Girl, it's so much.
And then you got to sit there and prove to them
all of that is
because he got some common sense.
Yes. And then some people I hear it becomes discouraging. So you don't fight. So the person that's dealing with the mental, that's why it's like with mental illness and why I advocate for mental illness as much as I try to. I have got to get out here and do more because there's so much that needs to be done for those reasons. Because the person that's dealing with the mental illness or the challenge, they can't advocate for themselves. They're not going to be able to go out here and say, I'm feeling this kind of way, I'm feeling this kind of way. If you notice, you see sometimes people with mental illness, it's in the hot summer and you'll see them out there with coats on and hats on and you wonder what's going on. But to that person's in with that part of their brain is what's, sick. Yeah. So they don't know. So we definitely, guys, if anybody's out there dealing with mental health challenges or feeling any kind of way, just know that it's okay. First of all, not to be okay. It's okay. But if so, just try to seek out some help. Yes. Start talking to somebody about it. And even if you feel like you need to be medicated, I think that's another thing. And we could talk about that later because I know we got to move on to our next topic, which is girls talk.
Girls talk. Yes, girl. What we talk about? Girls talk is where we talk about anything that women would talk about. Yes. Could be dating, relationships. So what we talking about today, Trina?
Oh my God. Let's see. You know what? Let's talk about, because we're in our 50s, right? And I know for me, let's talk about dating. You prefer, when you're dating, do you prefer dating a younger man or an older man your age? What do you prefer? A younger man or
I prefer what prefers me.
Ooh, I love it. I
mean, because I get both, but I mean, I'm not really age is nothing but a number to me because I feel like there's women out here in their 50s looking like they in their 30s.
That's
and
right.
Feeling like they in their 30s. And to me, it's like I'm in the prime of my life. Shoot, don't tell me nothing, baby. Yes. But I mean, I prefer what prefers me. So age is not a big difference. But what I've noticed is that the older men are more set in their ways. The younger men are more to catering and kind of, you know what I'm saying, to a woman.
Mm-hmm. The younger men are.
The younger men are. Okay. I feel like they are.
Okay.
They're more trying to, because you are an older, maybe more established woman, they're trying to kind of like prove themselves a little bit to you.
That's
like,
a good point.
I'm a young dude, but I got my stuff together. I got my own house, my own car.
Yeah,
I take care of my kids. So that's what I notice when I date a younger guy.
Okay, well, that brings my point to this. Do you think that men that are older, when they're younger, men tend to date younger women or women their age sometimes? Sometimes you can find young guys that date older women. They call them cougars. But do you think that when men get a certain age, like past their 50s, that they start to want to, or 50s or 60s, they start to look for an older woman to settle down with versus a younger woman?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, now with social media, I mean, you see a lot of older men dating younger women, but when they're ready, I would think that if you're dating younger women, that you would settle down with the woman that you're dating, right? Or do you just date?
Well, that's what I
just date for a good time. Man, are y'all dating younger women for a good time? Because y'all think older women ain't gonna show y'all a good time? Because we can.
But I wonder about. I mean, that's a very interesting question.
That's interesting. What is it? Tell me.
I think that this is I don't know. I just seen that it seems like to me when men get to be, like I said, in their 50s, 60s, and that's because that's the age bracket that I'm in. They seem to be at that point. They're ready to settle down, and I typically, before I see them like with a younger woman, it's probably like someone that they dated like in their past, someone years ago that they've both of them kind of grew up, did their thing, but when they get a certain age, they get back together. Or if they do, it's going to be a woman their age, because men typically starts to develop, we all do, health problems. We all start having health. And I think for men, they want to, what the Bible says, have a helpmate. They want to have somebody that's going to be there. And I guess with a younger woman, maybe you have a seasoned woman when she's in her close to their age group in their 50s or 60s versus a younger lady in her 30s.
So you telling me that men, so this is how I'm taking this, and you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So y'all older men want to settle down with an older woman because y'all want somebody to wipe your ass?
Well, not an older woman. I'm saying an older woman, like their age group. So, like say for instance, if they're 57.
Okay, so they looking for a 57-year-old woman.
They may be looking for someone in the 50s.
Is it because at that age, if something happens, they know that a mature woman is going to take care of them, wipe their butt?
That's a good question, man. I mean, answer that
curious.
question. I'd like to know that too, because I was just saying I'm in my 50s, closer to my 60s than my 50s. Thank you, Lord. But again, in my experience, my own perspective, auntie's perspective, what I've seen, again, that's what I see. You know, men typically, when they're in the 50s, 60s, and getting ready to settle down, they're typically going to settle down with the person that around their age versus someone that's in their 30s.
So they
younger,
with the younger women
40s.
to have fun. Get their groove back, that type of thing.
You know, they say we go through our menopause years, and they say that men go through their, what is it, where they like to hate toys. They got to get them a little sports car, or they like to feel like they got their most. Yeah. So maybe that's probably during that stage. Yeah, and that's typically, I guess that's normal. That's a normal thing. And sometimes, not to say that you can't find a good woman or a woman to wipe their butts when they're in their 30s too, because I'm sure there's a lot of 30-year-olds.
Like, they'll do it. I mean,
I
think that when you're naturally with an older, I'm gonna say, woman or man, you kind of mature a little bit quicker. You know what I'm saying? You mature. You come up to their level of maturity, I think, in some instances. When you're with a mature man, I think that can make a woman more mature more earlier. Because when you have a younger woman, I think you can groom her to be what you want her to be, because women are so submissive. You know what I'm saying?
And women and men too, though. Men, when you have a younger man, you can kind of groom him into.
You think so?
Oh yeah, for sure. If you're a woman that's in your 40s and you're dating like a 29-year-old close to 30,
that's true too.
I think that you can kind of. He's at that age kind of when he's about 20. Well, yeah, because at 29, 27, 28, 29, Kason, you're 20.
34.
He's on 34. Oh my God, look at you. You look so good. Yes. You're 34. Guys, he looks amazing.
Yeah.
I did not know. But I mean, when you're in your 20s,
well, his mama
what do you
look
think?
amazing. That's why she got good genes.
Good genes.
I'm just kidding, y'all.
She's getting enough. You're getting enough. Sit down somewhere. You already know she. I know, but that's true though. Jeans make a difference. That's right, because he does. He looks really, really good.
I swear.
Okay, so in your 20s though, what do you think? Like, are you in your 20s more prone to when you're in your 20s? Were you more prone to the younger women or the older women? Did you feel like the older women were more going to help you to be more mature, or?
I don't know. I never really had a preference with age. It's really like how you said, like
whoever was into
you.
Yeah.
I've always heard that quote, like,
if you like me, I like you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But do you think dating an older woman in your 20s would help you to mature? If an older woman had approached you,
I think so. Yeah, because they're more mature, established, got themselves together. I'm gonna say though, I've met some young guys. I won't mention their names, but that have been very, very mature for their age. And even though it was an age difference between us, like I consider them like him my friend, because it was like he's so mature. You know what I'm saying? So and it was a big age difference, and I was just like, wow, this little dude is very mature for his age. Like,
because
it's a lot of mature guys out here too. And especially what I noticed the difference between maturity too is who raised them. You know what I'm saying? Like who raised them? Because I think when the grandmas raise their boys, they become so mature in advance. I don't know what it is about the grandmothers raising these men, but
because they like old school.
Yeah,
you know
they're
they
very
taking them back. They can go
old
back to the principals, putting out the chair.
Yes.
You know, don't disrespect the girl. You better not put your hands on the girl.
Opening the car door, just being. I mean, just the way that they communicate with you, and I'd be like, oh, I'm so impressed. You know, just the conversation, just everything about this guy. I know, like, he's very, very mature. We're friends and everything, but very mature for his age.
I love it.
Very, very mature. So I think you should date who likes you. And I don't think you should ever factor somebody out for age, because age really doesn't make a difference. But age is really a representation of the day that you came into this world.
But Dusty, what about us females as well as men? What about us when we get a certain age? We don't even want to date no more. What you think about that?
I don't know. I think women. I think it depends on were you married. You know what I'm saying? If you were married, I think that determines a lot. Like for me, I would love to be married again. You know, I was married for 17 years. So I got married very young. I was 19 when I was married. You know, I already had a child. I had Kason very young. So for me, but I want to be married again. I want to have my partner, somebody that I can spend the rest of my life with. But there's a lot of women that have been, like my age, my girlfriends that have been married very young. And they're like, girl, I don't want to do that again. Like they want to have a separate household. Like he live over here, I'm going to live over here. And we just going to see each other. Like I don't want that. I don't want that.
Well, what about the man talking about living over here and over there? What about the man they had on Instagram that had 7 wives? Did you see that?
No.
Yes, girl. They said that's becoming popular. What is it called? Polygamy? Is it polygamy where you got? Yeah, so he had 7 wives, and he was introducing all his wives, and they had
was
children.
It a white man? Or
it was a black guy, and he said that they were all working together to build each other up. They were all one unit working together, and he was like, you know, people, y'all better get with it and get you somebody. He was saying, and y'all work together and build up together. I'm like, but they said that this is where the world is going. Yeah.
They have women that are living together, that are raising children together, and they're not like together in a relationship. They're girlfriends living together in a house. They come together in a house and they help raise each other's children. So
they're not like in a relationship.
No, they're not in a relationship. They're just like girlfriends living together, and they raising their kids together and helping each other pay bills and that kind of stuff.
Being a babysitter to each other.
Exactly. I think that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
You know, if I wasn't married young, I probably would have did something like that. I would have been open to living with my girlfriend. Yeah, we did it temporarily. Like I would have, that would have been cool.
Yeah,
because you're helping each other with the kids. You know, getting the kids off the bus, especially young kids. You know what I'm saying? Real young kids. It's such a struggle being a single parent out here with young children.
It is. You need help.
Yeah, you need help. You need your community, your family. You need people around you that can really, really help.
You do.
And I remember when I was moving here, Zaul was little. He was like, what, 10? 11?
Yeah, he's about 10.
About 10 years old. Yeah. I told Trina, even before I moved, I was like, Trina, I got Zaul. I'm going to need some help now.
Yeah, sure
I'm going to need some help.
Watching him get to the bus because you had to be at work at a certain time.
Because Kason and Sean didn't come with me originally. So I was like, boo, on Mondays, can you put Zaul on the bus because I got to go to work. Like Trina was my... my ride to die was helping me with that.
That's so true.
You need somebody. You
really
can't do it by yourself. It's
so
very,
true.
very hard.
It is so true.
To raise a child like that. So, but Trina, what about, I seen on social media about the men, and girls talk still, the men that are extending their bones to be taller, or instead of a BBL, they're doing these procedures where they're like extending their bones to be taller. Did you see that?
I can't say. I've seen them where they're doing the 6-packs, making the stomachs and stuff.
Like, are men out here really doing all these cosmetic procedures?
They're actually stretching.
They're stretching themselves. And I don't know. Don't get me in the details because I don't know. What I seen was this guy, an African-American guy, black guy, was getting this procedure done. And it looked painful as hell. Like, are you really going to do this?
Pull the bones?
I don't know if they pulling the bones. I got to pull up the article. I don't know if they pulling up
guys,
the bones. But are guys out here doing these procedures?
And listen, because we can't go ask that question because they'll swear, well, you guys are getting this done. Why can't we?
Hey, and I'm not just like disagreeing to that, but I'm just saying.
Is it happening?
Is this what we doing, y'all? Let me see.
I mean, I definitely know that they're doing the 6-packs because I think Dr. Curves, he might do that. I know they're doing the 6-packs. They're taking their stomachs and where you got the gut and stuff.
Look, because they said most of the comments in here are so funny, y'all. It was on Instagram because people are like, they're stretching their bones. And then they got to go through PT and all that stuff to get back walking and stuff.
Like, wouldn't that do something to you as you mature in life in your older age? Wouldn't that affect
I have no idea. I didn't even know this was even possible to do this. But and it says some woman said, dang, and most women won't find out until they have kids and will still wonder why their kids is only 5'2".
Exactly.
And their daddy's 6 feet tall. Like, why my kids so little? Because he got his bones stretched. Like, men, are we doing, because that's interesting to me to know that men are out here. Because women do a lot to look beautiful.
Yeah.
We'll go out here and get fillers and BBLs and tummy tucks and breast done. Like, this is stuff that we do that has been around for forever for women to get. Men are getting BBLs.
I know. So that goes back.
And I know it's only a certain type of men. I'm not putting it out there on all men. I know it's only a certain type of man that's getting BBLs, but at the end of the day, they're getting them.
Yeah. And social media says
men are getting liposuction to have the 6-pack, to create the 8-pack, the 12-pack. I don't know how many packs y'all want, but these are procedures that men are out here doing. What you think about that? It's not just diet and exercise for men anymore. Men are out here really doing, they're getting fillers too. They're getting Botox. Men are getting Botox.
Oh my God.
What do you think about that? What if Robert said, Trina, I'm going to get some Botox? What you going to say? Would you say anything? Because we kind of like,
that's like men, that if guys are doing that, I mean, what do you think that's like? I guess it would just be like a guy that's into how they look and they want to make themselves look better.
I think it's okay, guys. I'm not bashing you for doing it.
That's what it has to be that, because most guys will be like, I ain't going to get no 6-pack. What I need to do that for? You better love this good. You know what I'm saying? But a man that cares about himself, you know what I'm saying? A man that, wants to look a little better.
Increase his confidence.
Yeah, he can, he's just like a female. We do it if we want to make our, stomach smaller and to make us feel better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It matters. Like your friend, you were saying they're more confident now. When they had their procedure, they're more confident. And so
exude confidence.
Exactly.
When you feel good about yourself, you're gonna definitely be confident.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're definitely gonna be out here, mixing and mingling. I'm happy for you. I want you to be confident. 24/7. Man, it's okay to be out here.
It's still complications and everything. You have to be careful with that. Yeah, because you just don't never know. But I'm sure they take all kind of tests though to decide if their body can handle it before they.
Yeah, you have to be medically cleared to have like a medical procedure. So,
but it's definitely happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Hey, I applaud anybody that's out here trying to make themselves look better.
Hey.
Because age is none but a number.
Nothing but a number.
None but a number. All right, now, where we going to? Trina, I want to talk about this too, because we had Sean on here talking about finances, and I was trying to look at an article, try to find out, but a 24-year-old felon bought a whole apartment complex. What you think about that? I want to know, if you out there and y'all know this young man, I want to know what he did. Like, what resources did you use? What tools and resources were available to you to be able to, buy an apartment building? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
that's so promising and so great. You know what I'm saying? That he was able to purchase a whole apartment building.
Yeah. Well, hey, being a felon, I'm sure he was, behind bars. And if he was behind bars, he had time to research and find out all kind of programs.
Yeah,
and he's probably, it goes back to what we talk about a lot too, the individual. He was probably just a motivated young man, you know what I'm saying? And he saw an opportunity. Girl, when I went to the optometrist.
Because doors closed when fellas, you got a record, hard to get a job. And he probably was like, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to invest in real estate. That's like a big...
And he's 24.
24 years old.
But look at Sean. How old was Sean when he...
21.
So, Sean, maybe he was an individual that say, this is what I want to do. He was motivated.
I'm just curious, like, are there roadblocks to, being a convicted felon and buying properties? Like, I'm sure there's probably not, but... because you got to show history of. So, what was your down payment like? That's the stuff I'm curious about, because
he might have been smart. He might have bought some property and had some money. And
saved up. We don't know.
You never know.
I'm curious though. If y'all know him, I definitely send him to the Ritch Auntie Podcast. Go on to my IG. Send me a message. I'm just curious. I want to know, because I want to share that with people, because I think that's promising and something. Because usually when you think about convicted felons, I got Free Birds. That's my nonprofit organization that help convicted felons. But I want to know what you did, because I want to share that.
Right.
And come talk to them. Come mentor them. Because that's impressive.
It's possible.
It's possible. It definitely is possible. That's why I wanted to bring that up. But anyway. All right, Trina. So our next segment, what we getting into?
Where are we? Where anything goes? Are we?
Where anything goes.
Oh,
so
my God.
Trina, where anything goes. So where anything goes, y'all. Y'all know we talk about 20. Trina says it all the time. 2023 is where anything goes. What about this district? She was the assistant district attorney. I can't remember what state she was in, but she got into an Uber, and the Uber was taking. The Uber follows the map. They ain't looking at you to ask you what street I should turn on. That's the first thing. I know you were intoxicated and everything. That's cool because we all been there. But the Uber driver was not taking her the route that she's used to taking. So she started cussing at the Uber driver. The Uber driver immediately starts taping, which he should have. That's the correct thing to do.
Okay.
Starts taping her. But then she got fired.
Oh, wow.
From her job.
What did she say? What was she saying?
I don't know. The conversation was like, I hope you call the police. He was like, I'm going to call the police. She was like, I hope you do call the police. I hope they come fast and this and that. Like, she was just saying a whole bunch of stuff.
So she was intoxicated and he was taking her home. And she
called her Uber. That was very responsible of you, district attorney.
But she got fired because of what she said.
What she was saying to him in the car. Yes. So how she was talking to him. That was very degrading.
You know what? And that goes back to what we were talking about the young man going over to the wrong car. It's society, social media. She may have in her mind thought he was taking her somewhere to do something with her. In her little mind, she was intoxicated. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
why are you passing my street? Why are you going? I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, right.
Because I've been in an Uber before going to the airport. I'm like, why are you going this way?
Yeah, your mind started to wander.
Yeah, and the guy, because you're scared.
Yeah. So again, I mean, she made.
She didn't sound scared.
She was about intoxicated. She probably was.
She ain't sound
scared.
She probably
was just like, where you going? More than anything.
Was in there
what are you doing? And
she was like, why are you passing? Why are you going this way? Talking to him. Her
alter ego came out. She was a DA, so she was like, what are you doing? Where are you
taking
going?
Me? Why are you doing this?
She just probably got.
Why are you taking me over here?
And she has lost her job. Wow.
So badly, but you're so stupid. I want the cops to come so that they can.
This is her talking to him.
Warner also identifies herself as an assistant DA in the recording. Everything's being recorded. I'm an assistant district attorney.
Not no more, y'all.
Dallas County District Attorney Faith Johnson fired Warner Monday afternoon, and in a statement said that even though criminal charges were not filed, Warner's behavior is, quote, contrary to this office's core principle of integrity, and it will not be tolerated.
Wow.
So she got fired behind that incident. The way she was talking to the
her integrity to their company, she got fired, but because of her integrity.
What you think about that? I mean, because we don't know what she was, like you said, she's intoxicated. Like, do they look at that when something like that happens, or you just immediately, because you are a public figure? I mean, you're an assistant DA. People are looking at you.
Right.
But hey, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Like, you can't be 100% perfect every time.
But you know what? We have got to get to the place of recognizing in this society. Again, go back to our mental health. Again, just recognizing what's going on, because people can film us. People can video stuff. And if you're caught doing anything that is going to jeopardize your career or going to bring attention to you that you don't want, or anything that you don't want seen or known or heard, don't
you gotta
do it. Think about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it, because people
think
video.
about that all the time when I'm out here.
Yeah.
You're working for a top company, you got to be careful. You can't be out here twerking.
Yes.
You can't be out here doing all kinds of crazy
that
stuff.
will follow you.
You know what I'm saying? Because stuff follows you wherever you go.
Yes, it does.
And once somebody tape you and put that on the internet, baby, go ahead and try to get that removed.
Yeah. It does. It does follow you, though. Really.
I think about consciously, like, what are my kids going to say? Because they already know my mouth is crazy. I can say anything at any time. It don't be on purpose, but... You know what I'm saying? It's just but it makes people afraid to be themselves. You should have to be afraid to be yourself. You should be able to express yourself 2023, how you want to.
Where anything goes. We created this. We put out. I think it started when Mike Vick. When they, I think, when Mike Vick was caught with the dogs and everything, and everybody was, went against him, and it was just so bad because of what he had done.
He was fighting the dogs,
right? With the people got onto him. Society, it was put out there, and like everybody just, went against him, attacked him, and like you said, he was just an individual. He didn't know, he was young. He had been given all this money. He wasn't thinking like he should have been thinking, making the right decisions, but it cost him.
It cost him.
So you just have to. The society and social media society has put it out here where you're judged.
Right.
It's not like we're judged by God anymore. It's like we're judged by society and the world.
Yeah.
Because we put it out here, the world is so superficial now, and everything is so exposed that you can just, pretty much do what you want to do. And it's where anything goes. This is where society is becoming, where anything goes, you can do it. I mean, the stretching with the men getting stretched, us with the women, the woman on the thing having sex with the dog. You remember we looked at that video?
Let me tell you something. Trina came back to me. That was so funny because when Trina said, I said, "What? No."
Yeah, I know. You
and Trina came. I said, "Trina." I sent her the video, and she was like, You want to look at me sideways like what I'm saying ain't true." I was like, "Oh my God, this is really happening."
And she did it 3 times. This woman had sex with a German Shepherd dog 3 times. It's actually, they had it on jail. It's actually documented and everything. So this is what's going on
who
in
caught
2023. Her? You know what? I don't know. We can Google
I'm
that.
Just curious, y'all.
Yeah, Google it. You guys can Google it too. Just go and Google
comment if y'all know who caught her. I want to know who caught her. Like at the end of the day, like
it might have been the owner or something.
God. Who does that?
I know, it's crazy.
It's a crazy world out here. What about the lady, Trina, the elderly lady, 77-year-old, that went out here and robbed the bank?
Oh, bless her heart. She was so sweet
to the
she
teller.
Wrote a note.
She said she wrote a note saying, "I didn't mean to scare you."
Yeah, that was so sweet, huh?
But
is she gonna be convicted though? Are they gonna cause she got away she got away?
She's robbed a bank before though. This ain't her first rodeo, y'all. She robbed a bank earlier in her life, and then they said she robbed in 2020, robbed another bank, and she was just off of probation for that, and went and robbed another bank. But think about it, Miss Gooch, what is going on in your life that you have to be out here robbing a bank? Is it financial? Because, there's a lot of seniors. I'm going to say last night I was at a CVS and it was a senior in front of me and she was the sweetest lady. I'm standing in line trying to purchase something and she said, "I'm sorry, baby. I got to go back to the back and get some stuff. I don't mean to be here, but I got to save some money."
Oh, wow.
So you don't know what seniors are going through. Yes. At the end of the day,
that's true.
Money. Does she need money for medical expenses? Does she need money to live for resources to eat?
Yes.
Like we don't know what our seniors are going through.
God, Delcy.
That she's robbing a bank. Like should she be put in jail as a consequence?
That's what I'm wondering. Are they gonna
Oh my gosh, she's 77. Are y'all looking at as a society?
Like the man that shot the boy. He was 70 something and shot the young man that went to the wrong house.
But yeah, his grandson said he was a racist.
He sure did. His grandson said
your grandson put you out there, sir.
He sure did.
He did. He said he was a racist.
But I mean, they're gonna arrest him, right? He's gotten convicted.
Well, that's different, Trina, I think.
But I mean, if you talk about the age, I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
right.
Breaking the law is breaking the law in any way. You're right, Trina. I didn't think about it that way. But he should go to jail.
He should, rightfully so.
That's murder.
That's murder. And he still
killed
over
that
the
young man.
Yes. Well, he didn't die. The little boy didn't die.
Oh, no, he didn't? Mm-mm. Oh, okay. He's in the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in the hospital.
Doing good.
So what was that situation? Because I didn't really read into it.
He went to get he had some twin, I think a twin set of twin brothers and sisters or whatever in his family. I don't know if there's 2 boys or a boy and a girl or 2 girls. But he went to pick them up and he went to the wrong house. The address was like 179 Washington Street. He went to 179 Washington Road and went to the wrong house.
Shoot.
Yes. And the man opened a door and pretty much shot him in. Mm-hmm. And they say he
now,
ran out.
Would you have done that if it was a white man at your door? A white boy at your door?
Well, no, because he said that his son said he was a racist. Any black man that came to his door was going to get shot. Yes, baby, if he was a brown man.
Is that how people think? That's the mentality we have today. Sad as hell.
Still, we have that mentality. People out here still with that same mentality, and it's not just, I can't even say white people like that, or it's just the white people, because you have black people that feel the same way about are racist towards white people, or racist towards Mexican people, or Chinese people. You got Chinese people that are racist towards Mexican people, It's all out here, all different people, different type of nationalities.
You're right, Trina. I didn't think about that. But the sad thing is that had it been a white male or a white young man that came to your door, would you have pulled out your gun and shot him?
No, I don't.
And you shot this young black man because he was black.
And they said that the little boy ran miraculously ran from the man's house and was trying to go to other people's house, knocking on the door to try to get help, and that no one would answer their door, and then he fell
Was
out
this
the
like
street.
a predominantly white neighborhood?
I'm not sure.
Dang.
But a white man, it might have been, because a white man, I think they said, came out and helped him. And when the white man came out and helped him, another Caucasian man saw him, and they came and helped him. That's how the little boy got help. And they started...
Thank God that they didn't look at skin color and they wasn't racist and prejudiced.
But again, they could have been one of the people that we've talked about that were afraid too.
Yeah.
You know, afraid to open the door, because again, in this moment, you
don't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah.
There's so much society has
and it's
created.
so sad
so
that that's the stigma that comes
Yes.
with the black and brown communities.
Yes.
The stigma is that we are all, we're just not good people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that all the time we're just not good people.
But we're hostile.
Well, we're hostile or aggressive.
We're aggressive.
Or whatever.
Yes.
It's funny
We're
because last
mad.
night I was with my girlfriends and we went to get something to eat, and there was a guy in there and he was just like staring at me, so I just made a face. But he made a funny face as though he was playing. He was like, like bucking at me like that. And I was like, man, you better get out my face or something like that. So they just hear me, my girlfriends just hear me, kind of bucking at him or whatever. I was like, what you staring at? Like, you know how I am. But I knew that he was playing, so
Right.
I started playing with him. It was not nothing serious. So they was like, oh my God. They was looking at me like, this one right here is off the chain. But I was like, he playing. So he came over. He actually worked in the restaurant that we was at. And he was like, I'm just trying to come over here. He was like, where you from? Blah, blah, blah. So he was from New York. I'm from Jersey. So it was like, we know we was just playing. I could tell by the way he was looking at me. I'm just playing. But my girlfriend was saying that, she did that before to somebody. And that the guy, like, body slammed her, just put his hands on her.
Why?
Yeah, because she got smart with him. So sometimes, even as women, although I was playing and I knew he was playing because he was smiling, they didn't see him smiling, but I knew he was smiling. I was just playing with him. So he came over and was like, what y'all order? This and that. So I told him. He went to the back and make sure we got our food. Hey, we got our food before everybody else got their food. Because I was playing with him. But he was cool. But they was like, you can't, but they're right. You can't play with people because you don't know what mental space that they're in.
know.
The only reason I reacted to him like that is because he was playing and I knew he was playing.
Right.
And I was playing with him. Like, it was not that serious.
Because you would have known if he weren't playing, you would have known.
Yeah, because if I would have said to him, like, he was staring at me, like, he was just staring at me. I'm like, what you looking at?
Right.
Why is you staring at me like that? So then when I went like that, he was like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was funny, but they couldn't see what our conversation was. And then when he came over, but we talked about it afterwards, and it was like, because you're a little aggressive. And I was like, I wasn't being aggressive. They was like, you are. I said, well, this is me. This is just who I am.
Personality.
I'm not going to change who I am. I'm just not.
Right.
I'm just not going to change
because
y'all.
Exactly. I totally
who
agree.
I am.
You are who you have to love me.
But I know
me.
who to play with. You gotta know and you gotta be careful. Like, if he wasn't smiling and laughing and stuff across the room, I definitely wouldn't have never. I would have just turned around and ignored him.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? You know when to play.
Totally
so we gotta be careful.
We do.
When we dealing with people and where they are in their we don't know where they are in their mental
what about
space.
the man on the plane with the little
Oh my
boy
God!
with the baby
What
that
about
was crying?
that? They came and removed. The plane was going from Baltimore. I could see this man too. From Baltimore to daggone Fort Lauderdale, I think, Florida. And the baby was on the plane crying. Did you see the video?
I saw
Did you hear it?
Yes.
He was just like, can you shut that baby up? But can you imagine? You don't know what mental space. First of all, the plane is on the runway. They can't take off because it's bad weather. So you're just sitting
there. Oh, wow.
Everybody's just sitting.
Oh, he couldn't take that then. He was
and the baby is
it.
crying. What do you do, Trina?
Oh my God!
I know babies.
I put my headset in and try to drown the sound out. I know, because obviously, if the baby is crying, something wrong with the child. Maybe the baby has colicky or whatever, or he's sick. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Because I thought when we first talked about it, I was talking to somebody about it. Who was I talking to? I can't remember, but we were talking about it, passing the baby along and kind of shaking the baby, trying to be.
But then you along where to
the passengers and stuff. Like you couldn't pass the baby along.
People ain't gonna do that with COVID now. You know we got.
I know, but back in the day, it was safe that people would be like, "Let me have." Because I know I used to travel with them. You know, their father was in the military. I used to travel with them on the plane by myself all the time.
Somebody would help you,
and somebody would help me. If one of them was crying, they'd be like, "Give him to me." You know, I pass him because at that point I'd be like, "Here, take him."
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Take this little baby. He cried. But they was like, to that point, they couldn't stand up because the plane was on the runway, but they was waiting for the weather to pass. So the pilot was like, they can't stand up. They couldn't get up. So you can't really pass the baby around. What are you doing? You're in the chair with the baby.
They just crying.
And they were saying that as opposed to if it was a black mother. This was a white mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said if it was a black mother, the black mother probably would have pinched the baby and told the baby, be quiet. Probably would have told the baby, shh, be quiet, I'm going to beat your ass. I don't know how old the baby was. The black mama would have probably
put the bottle in the baby mouth. She couldn't have put the bottle in the baby.
Girl, I think the baby, Trina, you can't stick a bottle in a crying baby mouth.
Well, that's true. I guess if
what
they
you
don't
gonna do?
It, I'm thinking if they crying,
but they took the man off the plane. They didn't arrest him, but it goes back to mental health.
Yeah.
You don't know what type of anxiety issues this man. Maybe he was stressed because he was on a plane, and you don't know if it's his first trip on the plane. You don't know if he gets anxiety. I get anxiety when I fly.
Me too. When I'm flying long flights, I do.
Oh my God, I get anxiety just even going through. I always say even going through the gate. When I first get through the gate at the airport, you know, you're going through the security check. My anxiety kicks in right there. Delcy. Anybody that know me and love me knows Delcy suffers from anxiety.
Me too. I do too. Mine's kicking. I don't even think I suffer from anxiety.
I'm checking my bag to check what's in my bag again.
Ooh, I know.
I'm checking to see if I got my ID.
Girl.
Like my anxiety immediately
until we go cross. Once we go through everything and get checked out, then I can breathe.
Yeah, you can breathe.
Me too.
So you don't know if this man was suffering from some type of anxiety that, you know, it was high level.
That's true.
What could he have done to control himself besides tell the baby to shut up? What you think?
Oh my God. I mean, if you're mentally, he could have just, that's what I'm saying. Because if he's dealing with it mentally, he could have taken his meds. If he was on meds, if he had a mental problem and just didn't take his meds that day or had been off his meds, you know, that was something to consider. But if it wasn't nothing like that and he was just having a hard day or he was just tired and just didn't want to just deal with the nagging baby, you know, just go to the flight attendant and say, hey,
I've had a hard day. You don't know if this man don't have kids, don't have grandkids. You don't know what people, because I have a girlfriend, we have a mutual girlfriend that don't have kids. Mm-hmm. And when kids are around her or in a facility where we won't say no names, Trina, but when she around kids, she be like, if they don't get that damn kid out of here. But she don't have kids.
Yeah, so they can't relate.
Cannot relate. Yeah. So you don't know if this man can relate to having children, being a father, you know, being a grandfather, dealing with kids on a daily basis. Maybe he don't deal with kids, period.
But they took him off. Did they arrest him? What did they do? They
didn't arrest him. They just took him off that flight with that baby. They removed the man? Should they have removed the couple with the baby? Like, is it because he was being belligerent? I don't know. He was yelling. You know, the stress done got over him.
I mean, that's something to think about too. What made them come to the decision to take him versus taking
her off the
mom
plane
and the baby?
Exactly.
Right?
Why not? Because I'm sure all the passengers, y'all ain't say this was a Southwest flight. Y'all passengers on that Southwest flight, tell me, y'all wanted to tell them to shut the baby up too.
Did you? I mean, what was
y'all know y'all wanted to tell him to shut the baby up.
Is that what you wanted to tell him?
He was the one that talked for everybody on that plane.
It always be one. It always be one. Somebody felt like that, huh? The same way they wanted. They all felt like that. Yep, that's true. Somebody felt like that.
Then I want to know too, passengers, did the baby continue to cry when the plane took off, or did he go to sleep? That's what I want to know, Trina.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Because the other people that were on there had to still deal with the baby that was crying and agitated or what was going on. The other people had to deal with that. So is that right to the rest of the people? Yeah. That you took the man? The man would have been fine, but the baby going to continue to cry. Is that right to the other people that were on the plane? That probably felt the same way.
The man said, I paid for my ticket too.
Yeah.
Because they said the baby didn't pay for no ticket, y'all. The mom and dad paid for the ticket. Baby ride for free.
Yes, they do.
So the man had a valid point. I paid for my ticket.
Yeah.
That was his argument. He paid for his.
We're in 2023.
Where anything goes. Y'all know anything can happen in 2023.
Yes,
so
anything can happen.
With that being said, this is the closing of our
already. That went by so fast.
Girl. It did.
It's Sunday. Today is. Was this the last Sunday in the month, or is it?
I don't know. Let me check.
What is this? Because I mean, we're already through April.
Time flies, baby.
Oh my God!
When you flying a plane. No, we got one more Sunday, the 30th.
Oh, so we got one more Sunday. Okay.
And then guess what, y'all? Cinco de Mayo is coming up. What y'all doing for Cinco
what day
de
is
Mayo?
Cinco de Mayo on this
It's
year?
on a Friday. So what's up with Cinco de Mayo? Because I'm gonna tell you, Atlanta's the only place I ever been where
celebrate Cinco de
people
Mayo.
of color celebrate Cinco de Mayo the way that they do.
Talk about us too. They talk about us really.
I want to see if y'all turn up for June.
Because I mean, you're Panamanian, but like most people that I've met that are Mexican, like sometimes they come around the house working. We asked them, they were like, they don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo from Mexico. They don't celebrate like they do over here. I was like, really?
But I'm
gonna tell you
that. I'm gonna tell you, when I moved to Atlanta the first year, we went out Cinco de Mayo. Me, you, and Cheryl.
Yeah, that was
we used to turn up. But Trina and them was like, oh, we going out for Cinco de Mayo, and I was like, y'all celebrating Cinco de Mayo? They was like, yeah, we going to the little Mexican spot. And when I tell you, it was so many people in there.
Yes. We celebrate Cinco de Mayo here, but I mean, I think we should.
I ain't see that in Baltimore, y'all.
Well, Juneteenth is coming up too.
I wanna see what y'all doing for Juneteenth.
Yeah,
because this year I'm not celebrating the 4th of July.
Well, I'm not gonna do it either. We started last year. We really didn't celebrate. I think we just cooked because of course it's a holiday.
Yeah, so you're definitely gonna celebrate with your
family. We celebrated Juneteenth though. So we could at least incorporate starting to celebrate Juneteenth that's coming up.
I want to know what y'all doing for Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Oh, Trina, you know what? We did the mental health segment. Before we closed, though, you talked about something important, sad, that disorder that people are going through because it's summertime. Mm-hmm. Let's put that out there because I really want people to realize that as summer comes, what's the name of the disorder? It's called SAD.
Selective something disorder. Let me see. I can pull it up.
It's like a seasonal disorder
depression,
that people
mental health.
People go through depression during the holidays where it's really high. And then coming into the summer, people still carry that depression on to when it starts to get warmer.
Yes.
And I think it has a name. I'm going to wait for Trina to bring up the name.
Seasonal affective disorder. Seasonal affective disorder.
Black and brown people, please be aware that seasonal affective disorder it's a real disorder. Real. I've never heard of this.
I know.
But there are people that the depression continues from the holidays. Then it might subside a little bit and pick back up in the summertime. And the reason that people suffer from this seasonal affective disorder is because as the weather gets warmer, they're realizing that they're depressed. They're not out there where they could be mingling
because they
with
suffer
people.
from it. They said in the winter as well, but it's only 5% of Americans that suffer from it in the winter. Now they're saying since the pandemic, now it's 10% more. So 5% more has been added to suffering from selective affective disorder. Yeah. Seasonal affective disorder. Yeah.
So think about that, guys, as we're entering the warmer weather. We're all excited to be out here. We outside, everybody's saying that. But there's people, your family, pay attention because there's people that are not outside being social. Right. They're not taking vacations. Yes. They're not, mingling with their family members. Like, think about it. They're not attending special events. Yes. They don't have anyone. Please pay attention to your family members and what they're going through. And know that it's a disorder out here.
Yes.
As the seasons change, people are really battling mental illness.
What about skating? Are we doing
y'all, let's close up this podcast because we're going skating tonight. It's adult skate in College
we're
Park.
going skating tonight.
Yes, we're going to have a good time, y'all. I'm super excited
so if you guys want to join us for skating, of course, they won't see
what
this.
What skating ring we going to?
We're going to the one on Old Neck.
But no, the next Sunday, you might not see it until this Friday coming up, but know that Sunday...
We're doing adult skating.
The Ritch Auntie Podcast is going skating with friends and family.
We're over in Gwinnett next Sunday.
Oh, next Sunday we in Gwinnett. Come check us out, y'all. The Ritch Auntie Podcast. We definitely gonna be there.
Definitely gonna
and
be
I'm
there.
definitely gonna tape some people falling on their asses.
Well, I'm wearing my knee pads. I'm wearing my
knee pads, shoulder pads,
I'm wearing my elbow pads.
Oh, y'all, I'm gonna take a picture and I'm gonna bring that back.
Guys, I have to. I mean, I want to continue to keep my bones, and I don't want to get them stretched.
We're super excited because this is a way to battle depression and stay mentally sane out here with your friends. Please get out there. Spend time with your friends and family. Please pay attention to the signs of depression because it's real out here. Mental awareness. Y'all need to be aware of what's going on. So with that being said, we're going to end this Ritch Auntie podcast. I thought that was important. Trina brought it up. Yes. I had never heard about it. We wanted to share it with our Ritch Auntie followers. So remember to like, follow, and share. Yes. And we will be back, y'all, next Sunday. See y'all later.